What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, and this week we have Amanda.
Hey, I think I'm a permanent feature now.
Yeah, the people have decided.
Thank
Honestly,
you.
last week the most popular video of the whole week was the video that I did with Amanda. The week before, the most popular video of the week was the one that I did with Amanda.
Wow.
So I think the people have spoken. So the plan is, what's the plan?
The plan is just to chat about different things that we're going to be doing. So, I mean, we're going to talk about the week.
Yeah. No, I mean the plan moving forward with this podcast.
Oh, with the podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
The plan is that every week on a Saturday, it'll be the Samuel and Amanda show.
We haven't decided what to call it
We
yet.
haven't decided yet. So
We did ask last week people to come up with ideas, but not many people did.
No, I
There's
don't
a few
think
that did, so thank you to those that did.
Yeah.
So Saturday, 7 PM, you're going to be having an update from myself and Amanda, and we're going to be talking about a little bit about property, about business, mindset, what we've done in the week, lifestyle,
Yeah.
all things, whatever we've been up to that week. So, well, what have we been up to this week? What's your week consisted of?
my week's been good. It's been nice spending time outdoors with the kids.
Yeah, the weather's been good.
So one of the things that we did, the kids love the bear hunt.
Oh, jeez.
So,
You're going to make me look really bad now, aren't you?
The kids love the bear hunt. So me and Samuel thought it'd be a really good idea.
So can I just say, when you say the kids love the bear hunt,
Yeah.
unless people who are watching this have also got young kids, they'll have
you won't
no
know.
idea what the bear hunt is.
Yeah, the bear hunt. Okay, it's this. It's a song that you sing.
We're
and
going on a bear hunt.
Gonna catch a big one. Okay, and then you go through the woods or wherever, and then they find this bear. But when the kids in the little, well, they usually play outside themselves. So we thought if we get an actual bear, then they would love that. So Samuel got a bear suit.
Like, not just a bear suit, it was like a full-on,
Yeah.
proper, what do they call them, those? I don't know, I remember them, but proper
mascot thing.
mascot,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
a
like a
full-on
yeah.
mascot bear outfit,
Yeah.
with the sole purpose of entertaining our kids.
Yep, exactly. So the idea was the kids would go outside and play, and then this bear would just appear. But it's a friendly bear. It's not
a very
scary
friendly bear.
It looks like Ted. If you've ever watched Ted the movie, it looks like that. So I sent the kids outside to play, and then Samuel appeared to them, but it went horribly wrong. They didn't react how we thought they would, and they just like started crying, went and hid. It was a fight or flight situation. They hid behind some bushes together, and were just like,
they weren't
silent actually. They were silent.
Yeah, they weren't hiding just for fun. They weren't playing hide and seek.
They were actually scared, petrified.
Devastated.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't see that clearly because I was in this big suit. I was just standing there as this big full-on bear, and it was quite a convincing bear.
It was, yeah. I guess
I
for
mean,
them,
obviously it was a friendly bear.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it was like a kiddie movie type bear.
yeah. Oh my god.
So I'm not looking for them. They were like literally, they hid into a bush.
And they were silent,
They were
hiding.
so silent hiding. I was quite impressed with how they
Yeah.
operate, because I thought that they would. I initially thought they were just going to be excited. Come over! Oh my gosh, it's a bear! No,
No, they were like petrified.
They were
so,
petrified.
Yeah,
That was a
so
shame.
that kind of went wrong, and then now.
But they were so petrified though. We needed to finish the story.
Yeah, go on.
Because I then thought, okay, they're hiding in the bush. I didn't want to go over to them because that might scare them more.
Yeah.
So I kind of just like went back into the house and said, I don't think they like the bear, Amanda.
Yeah.
What do you think we should do? Mandy went out and they were crying. They ran up
As
to
soon
Amanda
as
and
they
grabbed
saw
her.
me, they ran out from where they were hiding, and they were just like the brook down, crying. Like,
Yeah. And then after that, they wouldn't leave the house alone.
Yeah. So now the weather's so good, and I'm like, oh, come on, go outside. And usually they just play in the back garden.
Bear,
Now they're like,
bear.
"There's a bear,"
So
and
I
they're
felt
scared.
awful. So what did we do to resolve that problem?
What do we do?
No, what did we do?
I don't remember.
Well.
Oh yeah.
Now they're not
no,
as scared anymore.
I forgot. Okay, so then Samuel then introduced the bear, like, and showed them that it was just a suit, and you know that it's a friendly bear. And then we went out. You dressed up as the bear, and then I was like, "Come on, let's give the bear a cuddle." And then
Yeah.
we cuddled the bear and stuff. So now,
Well, I had an idea that was Amanda beats up the bear.
Yeah.
I thought, imagine if I go out and then the kids are, oh my gosh, the bear. And then Amanda comes out and beats the bear up and stomps on the bear. And then the kids are like, yeah! But then Amanda said that would be a terrible idea because it would encourage violence.
exactly.
And I thought, yeah, you're probably right. I spoke to my mum about the idea and she said that was an absolutely awful idea. So instead, I just said, come into the office. And I came to the office and I said, look, and I showed them the glove of the bear. Look, this is a suit. It's pretend, it's play out. And then I brought out the bear head. Just the bear head on its own with me holding it was enough to make Luke be like, ah, like scream.
Yeah,
and I was like, ah. And I actually like peekaboo with the bear, it's all okay, look, it's a suit. And then finally they're okay, they're okay. So now they are just about at a level now where they can leave the house without fearing the bear.
Yeah.
So that's what you've been up to.
That's what I've been up to, enjoying the weather with the kids.
Meanwhile, I've been getting verified on YouTube. Boom! Oh, I was so glad that when that happened because, I mean, I've been on YouTube now. By the way, massive thank you to everybody that watches the channel because it was actually 2 days ago now. We had the 6-year anniversary of when I created my YouTube channel.
So good. I'm so proud of you.
Which means that when we first met, I didn't have the YouTube channel.
No.
So, when me and Amanda met, I wasn't a millionaire. I was financially free. I had a property portfolio of about 12 houses. Maybe a few more than that, but approximately. But they were cash flowing, okay. I was making decent money, but I was not, by no stretch of the imagination was I a millionaire. And I had no YouTube channel. So I kind of documented my way to becoming a millionaire on YouTube. My first YouTube videos were, you probably remember. What were my first, do you remember my first
They
YouTube
were hand holding, so you were deal packaging,
Yeah.
and then one of the things that you used to do was if someone bought a property off you, you'd then go out with them. Actually, you'd go out with them, view lots of different properties, and then they would then decide which one they wanted.
Yeah.
And you used to document all of that and put it
Basically,
on
I was deal packaging,
Yeah.
but I was bespoke offering
Yeah.
serviceware. And when you sell a deal to somebody, they'll then want to see the deal. So I used to say, look, come on out, look at the deal. I'll show you the house,
Yeah.
I'll introduce you to my power team, I'll show you around, we'll spend a few hours together. That process, I thought, you know what, I'll start filming that process and putting it on YouTube. And then that way I'll be able to show people, you know, my clients that they're happy, my investors, and it might be able to get more investors so I can sell more deals. That's why I set the YouTube channel up initially, and then it just kind of grew. And then we set the training company up.
Yeah.
Only 5 years ago, so about a year after that we set the training company up. So yeah, crazy. And also, the same, do you know what, this is really coincidence because the same day that we celebrated the 6-year YouTube anniversary, not that we did a big celebration for it, I got a little message
Just
from
got a notification.
Yeah, on YouTube saying, congratulations, this is, you know, six years today. But that same day was the same day of my 1000th upload on YouTube.
Really? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So lots to celebrate.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
But the reason I'm so happy about the verification, and all verification is, it's not a big deal. It just means that you've got a tick next to your name, you know. And some people, like, they long for the approval of the YouTube gods that say you are verified, you know. Like I remember I had some friends that were teasing me because I'm not yet Instagram verified, and people were saying like, oh, you've not even got a blue tick. I think Liv was joking about it, and I was like, I'm not worthy of Mark Zuckerberg's blue tick. Like, who cares? It's not really a big deal. However, on YouTube, it is a big deal because what was happening on YouTube?
On YouTube, I don't know if you've noticed, but whenever he uploads a video, someone has a picture, the same one that you have on your YouTube profile, and then they pretend to be Samuel, but it's really bad because then they'll say, contact me on WhatsApp, and they'll put a number, and they're basically scammers, and you know, it's really, really bad because it looks like it's him commenting and it's not. Yeah,
so basically if I post a video and then you comment and go, oh, Samuel, great video. Or maybe not, maybe you say, Samuel, terrible video. Whatever you comment, this fake person will comment under me. But the thing is, people might think, why don't you just block that, Samuel? Why don't you deal with it? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of accounts. Every time it happens, my team will block it. Or I'll block it personally. I'll sit and I'll block it in the middle of the night. Oh, someone pretending to be me. I'll block them or delete it. But then they'll just set up a new account and a new account and a new account pretending to be me. So although it is nice to be verified, the biggest reason I'm happy is because having a tick next to my name means that when you see me comment in the chat, my name, Samuel Leeds, will have a tick next to it. You'll know that it's the real me. Yeah. Or the real Samuel Leeds. Please have a tick next to his name.
I know, I actually feel as well like they've studied how you respond, because I read one once and I was thinking like, oh, and it literally sounded like something that Samuel would say, and then it was like, oh, that was a scam. So yeah, so just
and
look
we
out for that.
don't know what all the reasoning behind it is, but I don't want people pretending to be me when they're not me. That's just strange.
Yeah. That does happen a lot. Just sidebar.
Yeah.
On Instagram, people always pretend to be Samuel on Instagram. And this one time, someone actually posted, like, I can't remember what it said now, but they posted a picture of me and him, and they actually tagged me as in the real Amanda. So it was a fake Samuel profile, but they tagged me as like, oh, my wife at Amanda T. Leeds. And I was just like, I saw this tag and I was like, went on it, and it was a profile of you, but then with lots of different pictures of Samuel, but they'd actually tagged me, which was like, silly.
Again, you'll know that it's fake, because if you see me on Instagram with like 12 followers, only 3 or 4 posts on the account,
and then like, usually they'll change it and say like, oh, forex trading or something just really random. Like,
yeah, and I do sometimes worry that people will think that it's me and then go into some business deal with them, but you'd have to be a little bit naive to not realise. But I think the verification tick now makes it all the more, you know, makes it much better. I can relax now, so that's awesome. All right, so that's basically what I've been doing, and I've been writing books. Obviously, I've written my book, which we spoke about in the last podcast.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
Success Students. Which, thank you, by the way, guys. That absolutely blew up. We had within the first week, we had just over 2,000 downloads. Over 50 reviews, so thank you for downloading, thank you for reviewing, and
drum roll.
I'm not going to talk about it on this video, but I am working on another book.
Oh, exciting.
So I've been quietly working on that.
Do you want to say what the book is about, or do you want
No,
to keep it
I'm going to
surprise?
say nothing.
Okay.
Put in the comments, what do you think it is? You can let me know in the comments. So that's that. So what I wanted to talk about on this week's episode is money management, because I think that one of the first things that when we got married that I actually introduced to you. If you tell me about what happened with the money management, how we manage our money, but talk from the beginning. Like, do you remember when I first said this is how? Because just for the record, I don't manage the money in our house. Amanda manages the money.
I do.
Fully manages the money, but I did teach her the system to use to manage money.
Yeah.
So. Go ahead.
Yeah, so when we first got married, again, this is like a big thing if you don't know, whatever, but you have to talk about money before you get serious with anyone. You kind of have to be transparent about that. So anyway, when we got married, the conversation was like, okay, money, what we're gonna do. And I am a big spender, so before I'd literally get paid and I didn't really save, I would just spend my money like shopping, Zara, that sort of stuff. So that was like, And when I met you, you were a bit more of a saver.
It's really interesting.
More responsible.
Do you know what's funny?
Yeah.
I feel like we've switched roles. Do you not feel that?
Yeah, actually, because to be honest, that's true. I'm sometimes like, oh, really? And you're like, come on, let's buy this.
I am such a spender.
And you're like an extravagant spender. You don't spend small. It's like big spends.
But I used to be. I feel like we're not central. Is there more space this side?
Well, I think it's just because you're bigger than me.
Okay, all right. I used to be, before I met Amanda, the biggest hoarder ever. Like I used to be so frugal, so tight. I was earning well. When we first met, I didn't tell you about my properties.
No.
Because I was like, I don't want to tell people about my money, because then they might just, try and, pretend they like me, but really they just like the money. So Mandy didn't know anything about my property business, and I lived a reasonably frugal life. I mean, when we met, I was living in a 2-bedroomed terraced house in Bloxwich.
It was nice. It was on like a new build estate.
Yeah, it was, but it wasn't fancy. We moved, even when we first moved to our house, we moved into a detached house, but it's just a 3-bedroom detached. I do miss that house a little bit.
I love that house. Our first house together was
really so I was really frugal, and Amanda was a little bit of a spender.
I was.
Nothing crazy though. You just like to go shopping and things like that.
Yeah.
And I said to Amanda, listen, this is how I manage my money. And I taught her this process, and I said, and this is how I would like to introduce that we manage money in our marriage. This was before we got married.
Yeah.
So I went through it with Amanda. Amanda said, that sounds cool, totally great. Now, I'm not involved in the slightest. What is the system?
The system is the money management system. So we have several bank accounts that we have, and then we split them up. So when we get paid, we have necessities, play, give,
education,
financial freedom. What's the last one? Long-term savings.
Long-term savings. So what that means is, when you get your paycheck, and this is the thing as well, like before me and Amanda married, I was, depending on how the month went, some months I'd earn really well. It might be like, oh man, things are going really, really good. But then other months, if you had some problems with some tenants, things weren't so good, the money wasn't so good. So one of the things that I implemented, and I have to credit a guy called Harv Eker, because I learned this from him initially, back when I was like 19. But one of the things that I learned is, number one, you have to pay yourself a wage. So if you're employed, you're just on a wage. If you're self-employed, you're not on a wage. If you're self-employed, it's like, well, depending on how that month went, depends on how much you'll get. Yeah. But you need to say, no, every month I'm going to pay myself out of my business this much money. And you're on a wage. And then when you get paid your wage, if you're employed already, it's easy because you're just told what your wage is. When you paid your wage, rather than spending it all at once, what you have to do is you have to take your money, let's say you get £2,000. You put that £2,000 into 6 different bank accounts. So you're going to put 50% of it into necessities, and then you're going to break it up. You're going to put 10% into your education fund, 10% you're going to put to giving away, 10% into your investment fund, 10% into your savings fund, and 10% into your play fund.
My favourite fund.
So what kind of things would you use your play money for? What kind of things would you buy with play money?
Okay, so with play money, I'd spend on maybe like a nice bag, massages, shopping for clothes, just whatever I feel like treating myself with that month.
So your play money, you have to spend it, you have to blow it. Because when you use your, and here's what this is so genius. She was a spender, yeah. I was a saver, but with this money management system, you've got a certain amount of allocated money that you have to blow.
Yeah, and it's no questions, like you won't ask me like, oh, what did you spend your money on? It's just
no
whatever
questions.
I want.
Now you can have separate play money, you probably should. We still do, but yeah. So for me at the time, I was like, when I first started doing this, I'm like, man, I've got to spend the money. Jeez, I want to keep that. I want to put that into my investment fund. But it's like, no. With this system, you have to blow the money. Yeah. Now for Amanda, because she was a spender, for her it's like, yeah, easy. She was like, I want more. I don't want to put money into saving account. I want to split, but it's like, no. You have to blow it, but you can't blow more than 10%. And what that does is it means it gives for people like Amanda that's a spender, it gives discipline.
Yeah.
But for people like me, who was a massive saver, it forces you to blow the money, which means that you begin to think a bit richer. Because if you're living in poverty all the time and saving everything, you need to live. You need to have some fun. And if we'd got married without that system, what would have happened is you would have started to spend money. I would have been, no, I don't want to, you don't want to spend every penny, I don't want to save every penny. Yeah. But because of the system that we had, it meant that we have never, ever argued about money.
Yeah, and I think that's like probably a big thing that lots of couples argue about is money. Yeah. And I think having this system in place really, really just negates that.
It does. We've never argued about money, and ever. And we've also, I mean, we've grown wealthy together. Yeah. I mean, okay, I was already doing decent when we met, but when we met, I mean, Amanda's massively helped with the business and we've blown it up. But what's happened is, I mean, even now our income, we just pay ourselves a set wage, don't we? Yeah. So we have a set wage which comes from our property company, and you know, I obviously do lots of other stuff. You know, I've got loads I'm training and this and doing all stuff, but we just have our, just like really when we first got married. Yeah. It's not massively different. No. You know, but what's happened is, because we're putting a percentage of our money into our investment fund, our investment fund puts more money, which grows, which means the percentages are the same, but then it's like, oh, I used to have £200 or £300 a month to spend on play money. Now I have £500 a month. Now I have 10, you know, and it grows. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's great. And also another thing is sometimes people say, oh, I couldn't live off 50% and then put the 10%, 10%, 10%. It doesn't matter what the percentages are. It's just about doing it, isn't it? Yeah. Have you found that?
Yeah. I think you can just, it changes as well. Like sometimes you might want to save more in your investment fund, or I don't know, put more into your play or whatever. It's just whatever suits. So you can do it with as little or as much as you're earning. It doesn't really matter.
Also, there was one guy who was paying himself. So he wasn't paying himself. He was employed, and he was earning about £1,200 a month. And he was like, I can't live off £600 a month in necessities, and I can't give 10%. I can't afford to give 10%. I'll give 10% when I'm rich. And it's like, no. Yeah, the Bible talks about this. It says, be faithful with a little and then you'll be given more. And I believe that whether you're a Christian or believe the Bible or not, the principle of being faithful with what you've got, and then you'll be given more, is so true.
Yeah.
And in fact, that guy, he decided that he couldn't quite do it as I taught, but what he did was he paid himself 90% for essentials, and then he just split it up. He was like, 2% is going to be on give. I'll give 2%. I'll invest 2%. And slowly over the years, he's now upped it, and started earning more. So the key, when you manage what you've got, most people say, I need more money. I want more money. I want more money. And it's like, fine, but when you just manage what you've got, it's almost like if you've got a bucket with holes in it, and then you're going, I want more water. I want more water. It's like, just fix the holes.
Yeah.
You know, get the capacity right, and then maybe you'll start getting more money. So I think money management is something really important. Why do you manage? People might find it strange that you manage the money in the house. What does that look like? How much control of the money do you have, and what involvement do I have?
Okay, so I have 100% control.
Oh wow!
I'm the boss at home, and I think it's just because you focus on the business, and then I focus on the household and home. So it's just how we found what works for us. So yeah, it's just what we do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in terms of, I actually I can't be bothered. I spend so much time, you know, with the business, like going through deals and money and this and that. For me, I'm just very happy to just say, you know, when it comes to home stuff, I mean, I don't even, like when we moved into this house, I hadn't even seen the house. So I don't know.
No, it was the previous one. When we, in Litchfield. Yeah. I viewed the house in Litchfield.
Oh,
went
really?
did the viewing.
I'm sure this house though, maybe I saw it one time then. I don't remember. But definitely the house before, the one we lived in.
You totally trust me with anything home-wise.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. So, you know, what advice would you give to somebody that was wanting to get a grip of their finances?
I'd say definitely try out this money management system for starters.
Yeah, and this money management system, by the way, this is how all wealthy people do manage their money. If you read the book called The Richest Man in Babylon, it talks about very similar principles. I'd recommend reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. It talks about very, well, not similar, like it's pretty much the same. Also, even in the Bible, like Joseph. You remember the story when Joseph was asked to be Prince of Egypt, and he said, look, when you get at the time, Egypt was booming at the time, and it was like, had loads of money, loads of wealth, and the crops were booming, and he said, look, although everything's booming now, he said, what you need to do is you need to put 1/7 of everything, just put it aside. Yeah. 1/7 of everything. And they were like, oh, we don't need to do that, and he said, no, do it. So Egypt would put 1/7 of all its resources aside, and then when the big recessions came, the economic collapse happened, and everything started all drying up, Egypt became one of the most powerful countries in the world because it put money aside. So it goes back to this whole idea of pay yourself first. You know, what pay yourself first means is, rather than when you get paid, saying, oh, I need to pay for my gas and electric, and I need to pay my tax, I need to pay this, I need to pay my landlord rent, I need to pay my mortgage, and then I'll invest what's left. It's like, no, when you get paid, just put a little portion aside, put it aside for you, for your financial security, for your investment fund, before anyone else can touch it. Put it aside, invest it in property, put a portion aside for you, for your education. We put a lot of money aside for our education, our personal growth, our personal development. One of the reasons that we've probably not argued about money and had a lot of issues a lot of people have generally in life is because we're always investing in ourselves, bettering ourselves. Invest in you before investing in other stuff. And then, of course, what's left, 50%, put that into your general. So I think, you know, it's a really, really, really important lesson. Okay, so last week we asked for questions. We said if you've got questions, comment below. No one really did. So, no one, everyone's watching the video.
This is your opportunity to put questions in now.
Everyone's watching it. Most popular video, but no one's asking questions for us, and no one is coming up with a name for the podcast. And I keep calling it the podcast because at some point Amanda is going to upload the audio of this onto a podcast on Spotify and Google, I don't know what they're called, but before she does that, she wants a name.
Yeah, I want a name so I can make a nice little logo and stuff because I like to be organised.
So I've come up with some questions which I haven't preempted Amanda for. In fact, have you got any questions for me, Amanda?
No, I don't.
Alright, question for you. Right now, we are in spring.
Yes.
Coming close to summer. Which season do you prefer and why? Spring or autumn?
How come it has to be between those two?
Because otherwise it will be summer every time, and summer's the winner,
okay.
winter's the loser. We know that. We know that already.
Predictable.
Yeah,
okay.
But the two in the middle, autumn and spring.
Oh, okay.
What's
I
better
would
and why?
probably say I like. It's hard, but I'd probably go for autumn.
Oh, why?
Only because it's like the leaves are falling.
It's pretty.
It's pretty. I like being able to wear a dress still with tights. It's like you just layering up. Whereas right now when it's spring, sometimes it looks like it's really warm outside. You go outside in a dress and it's too cold. And it's like, oh, you don't really know, should I wear a coat, should I wear a cardigan? But in autumn, you can still wear dresses, but then you can just like wear tights and you know, it's a bit of a safe bet, I think.
Interesting that Amanda's whole choice of which is the better season is all around her clothes and her dresses. All right, for me, I would say spring, because spring, there's more hope in spring, because spring is like, summer's coming on the way, whereas autumn is nice, but it's like, winter's coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Deep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, deep.
Next question then.
Okay,
An even deeper question than that.
Oh dear, go on.
Would you rather question.
Where's this going?
Would you rather only be able to shower once every 7 days, or have to shower 7 times every day?
I would probably shower every 7 hours.
No, that wasn't, I didn't say every 7 hours.
Oh, every hour for 7 days.
No.
Go on.
7 showers a day,
Yep.
or 1 shower every 7 days.
7 showers a day.
7, really?
Yeah.
Hold on, just think about this though, okay?
Go on.
If you only allowed to shower once a week, obviously that's horrible. You can use deodorant, you can rub yourself, whatever. It wouldn't be great, it'd be horrible. But having to shower 7 times a day
It would be a bit
would
inconvenient.
mean you wouldn't be able to go anywhere. You wouldn't be able to leave the house. Permanent lockdown. You're just
Yeah.
showering all the time. Your skin would probably stop peeling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it would just be like, it'd be a bit gross, wouldn't it? Like,
All right.
showering once a week.
I want a more serious question. What was the last book that you read, both fiction and non-fiction?
Okay, so my last non-fiction book, my last fiction book was probably when we last went on holiday.
What was
That's
it?
the only time I read. It was called The Pool House.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was nice. It was just like a little drama, bit of murder, mystery, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was cool. And I like reading those kind of books when we're on a holiday, because I feel like it's just the only time that you can just relax and be like, huh. If I'm reading and I'm at home, I feel like reading a fiction book is a bit wasteful of
I
my
can't
time.
read fiction books.
Yeah, he
I don't-
hates them, but
I don't hate them.
Okay.
I just haven't got the inclination to read them. For me, I love reading, but reading is effort. For me, if I'm reading, it's effort. Like if I'm watching a movie, it's like, it's passive. Reading is energy, it's effort. If I'm taking the effort to read,
Might as well read
I want to read something where I'm going to be learning and I'm going to be bettering
Makes sense.
myself.
And do you know what? I think that's rubbed off on me a bit, because for that reason, I only read fiction books, novels, when we're on holiday, because I just kind of feel
Alright,
okay.
last book you read that was, non-fiction.
Okay, it was The Millionaire Next Door.
I don't like that book.
Yeah, you don't. But something that I thought was quite good from it. Okay, first of all, it actually was interesting for me, because a lot of things that you did when we met,
True.
where I was like, oh my gosh, that's like Samuel. I feel like that is sort of in you. The fact that you were living so frugally.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things in there that I see in you that I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's so interesting, that you do naturally.
Maybe I do like the book after all.
But something else as well that I found really interesting in it was about kids, because Samuel's always been like, oh, I don't want to spoil the kids. And I kind of thought, oh, you're being a bit harsh before we had kids.
We'll talk about that in another podcast.
Oh yeah, we'll talk
But
about
go
it.
on.
And but yeah, just the fact that people that are millionaires or wealthy people don't spoil the kids, and I thought that was quite interesting reading that in the book. And
Yeah, and maybe I should reread it. The Millionaire Next Door is very much about living frugally and all that. And it was actually Grant Cardone who said, I don't want to be the millionaire next door. You know, because it's like, who wants to be the millionaire next door? The person who's a millionaire but lives really frugally. You wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Forget that. I want to be the billionaire on TV. Not the millionaire next door, you know. But yeah,
but I guess those things have got us to where we are now, like how
Maybe.
we are. So
Maybe.
we'll talk about it in another
my
podcast.
last book that I read that was, I don't read fiction at all. My last non-fiction was the book that I wrote with the help of some of my friends, my students, which was my success books. Is it sad that the last 2 books that I've read have been my books?
I don't think it's sad. I mean, it's quite cool, but I mean, it's like...
The last book I read before that was Purpose Driven Life. Yeah, which is really good, but again, it's more of a devotional.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So, what should the podcast be called? Comment below.
Yeah.
Questions for me and Amanda, so I don't have to think up crazy questions about showering. Would be great to hear. Yeah, would you rather questions? Would be great to hear from you. What questions? And final words of wisdom?
You always ask me this, and it catches me off guard every single time.
Why don't you just prepare for the question?
Because I don't know you're going to ask me every single time.
Alright, just for the record, so it's on camera so you can't say you know.
Okay.
Every time we end the podcast, I'm going to say final words of wisdom.
Okay, it's going to be Mandy's words of wisdom at the end of every single one.
But what's your words of wisdom? The words of wisdom now should be, always prepare for that
Always
question.
be prepared. Yeah.
Alright guys, subscribe. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
See you. Bye.